It's official. We have ourselves a women's professional league here in Canada. It all kicked off last night. Vancouver Rise beat Calgary Wild 1-0 from the spot. Quinn with the first goal in league history. Our very own Amy Walsh was on the call, on the pregame, all over the broadcast. She joins us, as does JC, Craig Forrest, Jimmy Brennan. I'm Sharms. Wonger's having some computer issues. He should join us shortly. But, okay, Dubs, be completely honest. How much emotion was around your little crew last night when you finally saw it all come to fruition, this thing they've been planning for years?
I can just speak for myself. I think collectively everybody was pretty emotional about it, but there's been a documentary crew that's been following a number of us and Diana certainly and key players kind of since this thing got going, right? Like over the course of 2.5 years, like they were in there right at the beginning. So when we arrived at BC Place match day -1, they were kind of following us and getting some footage as we had missed Vancouver's practice, but we got a chance to assist Calgary Wild's practice and connect with some people. And then they had me in for an interview and I was a blubbering baby. Like I don't want to say embarrassingly emotional, but I was emotional and I embraced it and I was proud of it and like proud of Dee and kind of proud of where we are, you know, that we were finally kicking this thing off. And because as you're saying, it's been a long time coming and a lot of people have lent a hand to help Dee do this because it's been Diana. But I think a lot of people really pushing to make sure it got over the line, and it did with the shout. So when it came time for it all to happen, it wasn't muted at all for me. But when I was on the panel, it's sort of all business and feeling, I guess, a little bit of the weight of wanting to do well by way of my friend, also by way of the audience and making sure that we supported the players in the way that we were broadcasting. And then by the time I got up to the booth and it was like the opening ceremonies, I didn't have time to be emotional because I was like, oh my God, I'm so underprepared and scrambling for numbers and rosters. And no, you're rolling your eyes, but
yeah, because you're never underprepared.
Different. Well, I usually over prepare, but this is like uncharted territory and waters, right? I think, at least for me, like all of the color commentary that I've done has been anchored in a home team that I'm extremely well versed in, whether that's Canada or CF Montreal. Yeah, I guess those two. So to have two like unknown quantities, and obviously you know the stories and you know the previous teams and you know the players, but how it's all going to come off, you don't really know. So there was a little bit of feeling untethered about that, but just along for the ride and really honored and privileged to be a part of it.
I mean, the beauty of a new league and new teams and new players is that no one knows these guys either, Dubs. So you could have screwed up and got the wrong name and the wrong number.
When I did.
Most people wouldn't have known, right? As the league grows, that will change and you'll be held accountable as a broadcaster. But right now, just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Learn as we learn.
Until I'm found out. Looking forward to it.
Exactly. But Craig, I tell you what, it was a good game. I'm surprised there was just the one goal, especially in that first half. It was pretty open in there, and there were some nerves and some opportunities that perhaps will be converted in week 3 or week 4. But overall, that was a thoroughly enjoyable match.
It really was. Yeah, it was end to end, and like you said, it was open. I think like the CPL, when it started, I think there was a bit of a surprise at the level of play. There was some absolutely brilliant football. There was also a lot of mistakes, which was expected, I think, with teams that are so young. But overall, I thought the standard was really watchable and exciting, and I thoroughly enjoyed the match. And Dubs, you did an amazing job. Everybody did.
Forrest.
Yeah, it's great to see you and Claire up there. The broadcast.
Yeah, I know.
That was amazing. It was
and I have to say, on some of our production calls, Claire was like, I don't know if you guys knew, but I want a podcast. And when we had Diana on our podcast, and I was like, it's called The Broadcast, Footy Prime. And she was like referencing it in our prep and things that Diana had said about, you know, stadiums and how many soccer-specific stadiums we have relative to the rest of the world. And obviously that's an issue, and that's something that we will have to address, I think, as this league grows, but can do it hand in hand with CPL and other soccer entities in this country.
Jimmy, you were there on the ground with the CPL when that league was born, and that first match, you were on the sidelines, of course, of York. And the quality, I remember that match. I remember that first week of action, how surprised we were with the quality of football. Were you surprised with the quality you saw last night?
Do you know, I was really impressed with everything yesterday. And it's because, you know, like Dub said, it's uncharted water. You don't know what the expectations are going to be. I wasn't sure how the crowd was going to be. And when I saw it on TV, it was brilliant. I was like, wow, look at the support that they've got. And then you don't know what the standard of play is going to be. And then 10, 15 minutes into the match, and it was a good tempo, good ball movement. I was like, wow, like the standard's great. The crowd's right into it. And I have a new favorite player, Holly Ward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Favorite player at the moment. And it's
I
funny
think she was player of the match, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, really like her. And you just look at everything. You look at the crowd. You look at the stand. You look at the uniforms. And that Vancouver Rise kit actually grew on me, and I actually really like it.
Yeah,
like moss, because it's mossy.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I was looking at it first. I'm like, I'm not sure. And then as the game was going on, I was like, I really like this kit. But overall, I was really impressed.
Jimmy, didn't you think that, or Dubs, you can answer this too. The kit it blends with the pitch.
Oh, Forrest is such a good point.
It is. If it was all green, you would have been in trouble.
Yeah. And Claire compared it.
Look at.
What's that?
Is that something they should be looking at just because it blends with the pitch? I'm not sure. It almost glows.
Yeah, it really kind of astute observations, because up close, I love the kit more. Like, it's one of these ones where it looks good online. You see it. They've done a good job, obviously, with their branding and their marketing. But you see it, and it does have kind of gold tones in it. I believe it's called their Sunshine kit, and it's every bit of that. But Claire compared it to, I think, Nigeria. They were in Canada's group in the 2023 Women's World Cup. And I think there they were like kind of what you think of when you think of Nigeria, like a really rich, deep green color, right? Mm-hmm. But it's somehow different from the pitch. It's darker. And then they switched, and Claire remembers calling that game, and she said it's almost like they were camouflaged, like they disappeared within the pitch. So that comment about the Rise's uniforms, you're not the first person to say that to me. Like 2 or 3 people mentioned that to me, that, wow, stunning kit, but was that hard for you guys as commentators? Do you think it's hard for the players when they're on the pitch to kind of pick a teammate out? So I wonder if that's a consideration going forward. But yeah, a few people said that.
Well, I mean, that turf just kind of pops on TV, right? It's not great, let's be honest. It's not perfect.
And it smells.
That's part of it. Does it?
Okay. Yes. See,
mushrooms or weed?
And really bad BO.
Oh, really?
The whole thing. Yes, it was stunning with the flags, and the roof was open. Like, visually, it was really impactful, but it smells like a ripe old armpit.
A ripe old armpit.
Just one.
When you walk into like domes, like sports domes, right, in the thick of winter, and there's that smell to it. Yeah. It must be like that, I imagine, right? It's not a great smell. It's like all the little rubber beads in the turf kind of absorb all the sweat and the odor from all the players.
And the spit.
But that sport and spit, the bacteria festering in those things. Oh, disgusting.
Yeah.
Jasmine Spencer I liked a lot as well. She's exciting to watch. So pacey. Yeah. Few miss-hit passes, but I thought she was really good. But overall, a thoroughly enjoyable match. And I guess it is kind of fitting that Quinn, who they might become the face of the league this first season, if not already, actually, because so well known internationally, and for Quinn to score that goal from the spot, Quinn said it post-match, right? Never thought they'd see themselves scoring from the spot the first goal in history of this new league. Yeah. And it's a good point. Perhaps you want to see a curler from 5 yards out for the first goal, but hey, we'll take a spot kick.
Yeah, and it was going to be a night of firsts. So as you said, I think absolutely fitting that it was Quinn who converted. And I think once Quinn and then I think maybe Nikki Stanton, her former teammate at Seattle Reign. So the two of them in that midfield were really, really impressive. But that was almost a call to action, or like shout it from the rooftops. This league is going to be of quality because Quinn signed. So it was almost like instant credibility, like street cred. Like this is not just going to be, a league that's going to have great standards. Canada is a great place to live. It's, as Jimmy and Forrest have said, like the standard of play was there, and that's only going to rise, not just for Vancouver, but for the rest of the teams and their names too. Right? Yeah. So that the players are going to be well supported and all that stuff. But the question mark and the big one was, what is the standard going to be like? What is the quality on the pitch? Because really that's what you're selling. You're selling all of the players. You're selling the personalities, the characters, the emerging stars, who are going to be the next Quinn and who are going to be the next Christine Sinclair and Holly Ward already on the night. I think had everybody sit up and take notice, because she got her first cap with Canada, but that was a heck of a performance. And she ran Grace Storty ragged in that channel, because Storty is somebody that I think everybody throughout the league wanted as well. A really highly touted player coming up through the ranks in Calgary. And she's a wonderful player, but Holly Ward just had her number on the night. And I really liked Mariah Lee as well. And if she hadn't been subbed, and I don't know if she's being managed or what, or they just went with a different look to try to close the game out. But as you said, Sharms, they should have scored more, because they were dominant enough for that to be a 2 or 3-0 game. But give Calgary credit, because they never went away. They kind of were pesky enough and just thorns in their sides. And I thought the second half there were some clattering tackles. Oh, yeah. It got pretty chippy. Yeah. And Baudouin had her cards out. But yeah, it lacked a little bit of fluidity, I felt, in the second half, but still a really good game. And I think everybody should be proud of that inaugural game.
Ward's a player that sells tickets. Like, you get out of your seat when she gets the ball at her feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Can you educate me in her background?
She went to the University of Texas, I think.
Texas, was it? Yeah. Okay. So obviously there's going to be a big amount of US college players coming through this league, but also from overseas. Who was it who came from Australia? She was playing professional in Australia. I forget who it was.
There's a number of them.
Was there more than one? Yeah. And last night's game?
Yes.
But my point being that they're going to lure overseas-based players, right? From the biggest leagues. Diana's been saying that this is already one of the top 4 or 5 leagues in the world already. That's pretty impressive, right? And that's quite a statement to make. When she said that on our show earlier this week, it's like, yeah, you're right. There isn't much out there at the moment. And what an opportunity to not just be a cute little, domestic league. No, this is a legitimate world league that's going to attract some really big players. And seeing Sinky out there just, doing the rounds before the match. I'm sure she's doing it post-match as well. Just her aura about her. The 14,000 fans. 14,000, by the way. That was the attendance. Just over 14,000. They were up for it. They were, from what I could hear, they were loud. Was it loud there in the stadium for 14,000?
Yeah, it was pretty loud. And I liked that. Did you see everybody had like those shiny little kind of discs in the stands?
Look like flashes.
I thought, I don't know, came up with that. That was the first
I thought it was like a million cameras. But it was like, so cool.
Yeah.
So, tell me post-match. Was there a post-match party, Dubs? Was there stuff going on? I would hope so. It's the first match in league history. Must have been some shenanigans.
I mean, a little bit quiet, but no, there was some stuff going on. Kind of scattered.
You look refreshed. You don't look too like you went hard last night. You look pretty refreshed, not hung.
No, but we came back to the hotel. I think that's where Dee and family came, and they were just grabbing like some champagne. And so we were going to come back here, but then the broadcast crew had already gone somewhere else and kind of left me. So I caught up with them. Because I was chatting, and Claire's like, God, it takes so long to leave places, because I was talking to Robin.
Know the feeling.
Yeah.
We can appreciate that.
But I wasn't press box Dubs immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Took a couple of beers, but no, it was fun. And it was great to meet Kate. Like I never worked with Kate McKenna before. I thought she did a fabulous job. And she was the hype woman as well. She did like the opening ceremonies, But then she was also like warming up the crew. So we were like, are you going to be doing like your best wrestling moves? Like you're going to have a t-shirt cannon? Like, what are you doing?
Kate was a good player as well. Right.
Yeah.
I think it was, and I think, was it Kate? I think it was Kate. I played in a charity match. It was charity, but it was a testimonial for Cara at Oakville, Blue Devils, I think it was years ago now. And Kate was there, and we took the bus together to the game. It was really cool. Got a police escort and everything. It was the coolest thing. And I think I probably hurt myself at some point during the match. Can't forget now. I think I did. But it was cool. She's great. She's a good supporter of the sport in Canada for sure.
They grew up next to each other. Like they played like Timbit soccer and growing up like literal neighbors.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So what's next then? I mean, big game this weekend.
Yeah.
Roses, AFC Toronto. You're gonna be press box dubs. Are you gonna try and take in the whole feel? Are we gonna expect 14,000 at BMO? What do you think?
I saw it yesterday because the broadcast crew were talking about that because it's a quick turnaround, right? So we were, I think, celebrating the evening because I think it all came off really well and everybody was pleased with how the production went and how, all the work that we put in, we were proud of that. So we acknowledged that, but then we're like, holy shit, like we've got another one on Saturday, right? Got to travel back and do all that. And so somebody's like, did you know how the ticket sales are going? And then we saw on AFC Toronto's on their Instagram that I think there's only a few tickets left.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. And so I was going to ask you guys, is nobody, well, I think the upper bowl is closed. So maybe Jimmy, you're the person to ask this question. With the upper bowl closed, what is the capacity of BMO?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Less. It's less.
I really don't know. I'd imagine 12.
12, 15,
oh, really?
maybe.
I thought it was more than that. I guess 20.
The stadium holds, 30? So I'm thinking maybe 8,000 with the upper bowl. Both sides?
Yeah, got to think.
Well, I guess we'll find out on Saturday when they announce the attendance. But that's great if it's sold out. So but there could be some tickets left. So if you haven't got your tickets yet and you're in the Toronto area, get down there. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to be there. That's not the reason why you should be coming down, of course. But come down for the football. It's good football. It could be. We're gonna.
There were a couple people looking for Craig yesterday.
Oh, were there?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Like, didn't make it down.
Were there? That was. Oh, were there? Because obviously,
there's always people looking for Craig. Legend.
Yeah, right.
You find that you're like connected with him, like that. It's like wherever they see you, it's always, well, where's Craig?
Yes.
Should you be here?
Basically, yeah.
You're defined by Craig. We're all defined by Craig a little bit. Got to mention though, Wonger is still having issues with his computer, but he would have brought this up for sure. Your choice of attire, good choice, Dubs. It worked well. The black with the little pom poms in the sleeves.
They were flowers, James Sharman.
Oh, sorry, were they? Was that a shout out to the Roses?
No, it was just a Simon's pick. So Simon's a partner of the league, so everybody was dressed in Simon stuff, and that was just a top that I liked. Even though like my sisters are like my fashion kind of advisors, like they approve and kind of sign off on the stuff. And so I'd picked my outfit. I packed it like I was here. My sister Sarah was like, "Oh, you going with that one?" I was like, "What the fuck, Sarah?" I was like, "Too late now." But no, I was happy with it.
You could have asked us.
No.
We'll be more than happy to
you guys don't get to weigh in on that.
Are you one game in, Dubs?
Oh, Dubs?
I'm flying out today, but I'm going back home. And then I'm taking the train on Saturday morning to Toronto because only a sensible person would fly directly from Vancouver to Toronto for a match that's happening in a couple of days. I'm going back to Montreal. But Jackson provincials, and I haven't seen my kids. And so I'm going to see those guys and then leave on Saturday morning.
So you're training down the morning of the game you're calling?
Correct.
Let's hope there's lots of Wi-Fi working on the train so you can do your research. You're better prepared. What?
Wild.
You've been hitting your ham with
No, look, it's the Northern Super League.
You've been doing baseboards?
They're assholes. You knew that? Thanks, GC. I'm going to talk to you from now on.
Oh,
Christina Litz and her kid Isla got like Northern Super League kind of manicures, and I was jealous. So I went out and I got one. So I have purple nails for our listeners, and I've got the Northern Super League star.
Okay, well, I didn't see the star.
That's for you, Sharm.
Oh, that one there. I didn't see the star. Oh, I thought it was just like the light reflecting off the nails. I didn't realize that actually that. Oh, okay. Now I see them. Okay, that's cool. You should do it Footy Prime FP nails next time. That'd be kind of cool.
It would.
I'll do it for this weekend.
Do it.
Yes, DC.
Yeah.
Also, just so everyone knows, there's 8 tickets left on Ticketmaster. Period.
Really?
Really?
For Saturday, 8. Yeah, 8.
Are they together? Or are they all separate around the
No,
ground?
there's a group of 4, there's a group of 2 in the back, and then there's 2 individuals, and that's it.
Okay. Well, we haven't heard back from the league regarding our accreditation, so we might need those at this point.
You haven't?
Not yet. No, I don't think so. Check my email. So.
Might want to
Literally just got it.
Oh, just came in now.
Oh.
Are we approved?
Denied. Imagine.
It wouldn't surprise me. Are we?
Just get
AFC
Jimmy to
open.
let us in.
Oh.
What from the Tunnel Club, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, got a key for you.
Hang on.
Wait,
I wanna
are there
go.
actual keys?
I wish I was going.
You're not
Hang
going?
on.
No, I have a CPL match at 3:30.
Oh, boo.
But there's one at 1, but maybe I'll see if I can change it because I think it'd be brilliant to go to.
You were meant to do that
CPL
last
actually-
week. You've not done it yet.
No.
You know how these things are, broadcast. But it's in us. I see that the CPL were throwing out their love, saying congratulations, good luck, which I thought was nice on
Yes.
various social media channels because they should be friends. They shouldn't be competitors for the audience. They should be getting on together, doing good things together. I don't see anything here about. Oh no! Wait, no, I don't see anything here about our creds here, JC. I see Wonger.
Oh no, this is Wonger sending us a reminder saying, "Hey, make sure that we've filled out our stuff."
Yeah. We'll listen. It's not until Saturday. I'm sure we'll be okay. If we get denied, that won't be so great. But I'm pretty confident we'll be okay. And we'll be there regardless. Yeah. Okay. So Dubs, 1 game in. Finally, after all the work and all the, the stress, which I know you would have put on yourself last number of years. There you have it. 1 game in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. Congratulations.
Yep.
Did you get a chance to watch any Champions League yesterday?
I did not.
Right? No. Did anyone? Arsenal?
No.
Arsenal getting through Real Madrid, and in a fully we won't go too much depth, but a fully deserved performance once again. Declan Rice, Craig. I tell you what, we know he won it with the free kicks in the first leg, but that game he was absolutely out. It was a Tuesday actually, it wasn't yesterday, was it? It was actually brilliant. The work ethic, both sides of the ball. He's really turning into a world-class player, isn't he?
It really is. Yeah. I mean, West Ham knew what they had, and when they sold him to Arsenal, obviously there was some disappointment there, but overall, I mean, the guy's a terrific professional as well as bringing a hell of a lot of quality. And good for Arsenal. They never lost to Real Madrid. Was that 4 games, 3 wins, 1 draw? They'd be pretty happy with that. I mean, they're a fantastic side. They just haven't been able to. They've just dropped a little bit at times in the Premier League and lost that consistency, but they're peaking at the right moment. And they played 2 fantastic games against Real Madrid, and that's got to give them a lot of confidence of going into the next phase.
Semi against PSG. That's going to be a good one.
Oh, brilliant.
The likable, lovable PSG now, because they're not just superstars. Still, it's sport washing at its very greatest. They've got us. They went the full bore circus act, with the Neymars of the world, right? And now they've gone to actually a proper football team, and they're going to win. And before we know it, Saudi Arabia is going to be part of us, part of our everyday narrative because of the sport washing. It's brilliant. It's very clever. No, Dubs, shaking your head. No, don't agree.
No.
You're not buying into this. You're not seeing through this, or you are seeing through this.
Of course. Of course I'm seeing through it. Through you or the sports washing in general?
No,
Saudi
it's
Arabia.
this particular project, the PSG project. It's brilliant, right? They went, like I said, the circus act, and now they've removed the circus, but now they're going to probably win the Champions League because playing such good football. Very well done. By the way, Ancelotti at Real Madrid, Jimmy, do you think this is it for him? There's rumors with Brazil It's Saudi Arabia, of course. Is this time for Carlo to depart Real Madrid after all the success?
I think it probably could be. I mean, they're expected to win the Champions League every year, aren't they? I mean, that's part of their goals at the beginning of the season. And maybe he's just taken his team as far as he could. And maybe he will be looking for other options. There's always speculation around Ancelotti because he's a legendary coach. Players love playing for him. And maybe he'll be looking for the next opportunity come next season.
He seems like a manager to me that always knows when, not that he's lost the dressing room, but where maybe the players have gotten a little bit too complacent. Mm-hmm. And then it's like the impetus is from him to leave before it all goes pear-shaped. Is that fair, do you think? Because I can't remember any team where you're like, there was a discussion and like a real drop or like a decline in performance and, you know, a little bit of like acrimony. It like never gets to that point with Ancelotti.
And there's the big clubs that generally conjure acrimony, right? From Milan to Juventus. I mean, let's look at his resume, right?
It's ridiculous.
A lot of teams, but yeah, the teams that he's coached in. I mean, these are the biggest clubs in the world. He bounces around, and he's never tarnished, like you said there, Dubs. He always moves either at the right time or just after the right time, but enough that he gets another great job. Yeah, so he started off coaching Reggiana, Parma, Juventus, Milan, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid once, Bayern Munich, Napoli, Everton. Remember Everton? I forgot all about that. And then Real Madrid.
I don't even remember that. When was he at Everton?
I think
yeah.
Didn't he get to a final or something, Everton?
Just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2019 to 2020.
Before he went to Madrid, no?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have like no recollection of that.
Yeah. But it's going to be a difficult season for him, right? They've got knocked out of the Champions League. They're in second place right now, so they might not win La Liga. And then they've got the Copa del Rey final in 26 against Barcelona. So if it's a season where he doesn't win anything, it'll be a disaster, and I expect him to leave.
Yeah. But I think he'll still land on his feet somewhere.
Oh, 100%.
His resume.
If he wants.
Yeah, that's true. If he wants to. Yeah. Maybe it's time that he said.
Talking about him retiring at one stage. He was talking he would maybe do one more job, and then I think that was around the Everton time, and then he ends up going to Real Madrid. So depends on what he personally wants to do, whether he wants to hang out in Vancouver.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. Maybe end up getting a little local gig, coaching somewhere, local club in Vancouver. Be all right.
Vancouver.
There was a time that he was open to the Canada job.
Yeah, that's right. What?
And they never went through with the interviews, I don't think. Different generation, different era. So let's not get into that. Canada's doing good right now. We're all happy and positive about Canada at the moment. Mm-hmm. But when they suck again, then we'll bring that up. Chestnut.
Invariably.
Yeah. Barca will be taking on Inter Milan in the other semi-final, which is pretty juicy. Who's your favorite right now to win the Champions League? I'm thinking it's Barcelona, the way they're playing this season. Don't you think, Jimmy?
I do. I mean, they're a fun team to watch, but I don't know. Maybe it might be Arsenal's year. They've got a good squad. They're playing good football. Just think they could be the dark horse.
Yeah. Are they the team that deserve it the most out of those four finalists? Inter have won it. They won the treble, don't forget, with Jose Mourinho. Not 2011, I think it was, right? Around there. Barca's Barca, they don't deserve anything because they've always had great teams. Real Madrid's Real Madrid. They won it 15 times. If there's and this isn't my English bias coming through here at all. I am no Arsenal fan. In fact, I've got lots of Arsenal fans who are friends of mine, and I hate them. They're assholes. And I hope they're listening. But don't you think the Gunners deserve it, Dove? So that's kind of the team that I know you're not the biggest Arteta fan.
No.
Because of his antics, but man, what they haven't won for a while, and they haven't ever won a European Championship.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it'd be tough for me, as you mentioned. I'm not a huge lover of Arteta and that team, but I do love individuals as part of that collective, and Rice is one of them. Saka's another. I really like Odegaard. So there are players I think that I want to root for because they're just unbelievable footballers. And I think with some teams you would worry about, and I know it's Champions League and I know it's the best of the best, it's the biggest of stages, but you get through an opponent that has kind of been your Achilles heel or that type of opponent, and you can't seem to get over the hump in an opponent like Real Madrid. And then there's a bit of a drop. There's a bit of a hangover from it. But I just think the way, and I didn't see, the second leg, but just the comprehensive, confident nature of the individual brilliance within that performance, but also the team mindset in beating them at the Emirates and the way that they looked on the night. I think it might be their year. I'd worry about them kind of stumbling in the next phase, but I think they're just going to keep chugging along and maybe even improving and building on those performances instead of maybe kind of limping into the next phase of the competition. Yeah,
I agree with you. And I think they've got bags of confidence right now. I mean, they beat PSV 9-3 on aggregate. You beat Real Madrid 5-1 on aggregate. I mean, they're rolling along right now. And I bet you they can't wait to play PSG right now. And especially when Villa gave PSG a good go and a run for their money.
Yeah, they did in the end.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, just 3-2, pretty close. Hey, Craig, when you think of Arsenal, are you able to think of the new Arsenal? Or are you always clouded by those Arsenals you played against, the George Graham and the early Arsene Wenger Arsenals? And is there a kind of cloud in your judgment?
I mean, George Graham was a very defensive-minded coach that won a number of games 1-0. Completely different outfit and different setup that we see with Arteta and this Arsenal side. Took a long time coming. And I think that when Amy talks about Declan Rice, that he was the missing piece, I think, that they were looking for in that midfield that they haven't had for an awful long time.
There was a comedian, I've said this before on the podcast, I forget who it was now, but he said, I grew up an Arsenal fan, and I always thought they were called Arsenal 1. That's what I thought their name was. Because it was right. Arsenal 1, Ipswich 0. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 0. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0.
It was Kevin Hart.
Big footy fan is Kevin Hart. Hey, Dubs, I'm just seeing. Do you hear the news?
No.
Coming down? Big Verge, 2 years.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. Yep.
Yeah, it's done. I like that.
So just Trent next, right? Trifecta. Yeah. It's not happening. It's not happening, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not happening.
Can they win this weekend? Can they lift it? What's the?
Oh, I don't know what all the permutations and implications are.
Liverpool are on. So they're 13 points up, 6 games left. So no, they could potentially, if Arsenal lose and they win, then it would go down to goals. So I don't think they can do it. I don't think, and my math's awful, so I could be wrong here, but I don't think they can do it officially this weekend. But
all of that stuff breaks my brain. Like the Habs just finally made it into the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. They had to beat Carolina, and it wasn't Carolina at full strength, but doesn't matter. But prior to that, it was maybe like 3 or 4 games where scenarios with teams below them and tying and winning, or that team losing and then they're eliminated, but the Habs still needed to win, but it had to be in regulation. It couldn't be in overtime. And that stuff just does my head in. So just let me know when they can lift it, and I will be watching. But until then,
let them win by winning a match, not by something else happening.
Yes, and it doesn't matter, right? You don't see that in the fine print, and I don't think the players really give a shit. But I think it's better to do it like of your own volition, right?
Well, not to mention when Liverpool last won the championship, it was during COVID. There were no fans in the stadium.
Of course.
Right. So, not that there's an asterisk again beside it, because there isn't. Damn it, there isn't. But it will be nice for those fans to actually be there and see them do it. So I hope they do it on home field. But again,
I was going to say, so when you've got such a cushion, do you think that, I mean, maybe not given their form, but is there a little bit of jockeying to be like, okay, so like maybe if this result goes this way, then we can win it here at Anfield?
I wonder.
Like there are people who are looking at that for sure, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. A little cheeky glance at the schedule and the points. That'd be fun. We're playing Forrest in 2 weeks' time. That'd be a nice time, for example. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Anything else you want to get to? Anyone?
No, I don't think so.
It's so quiet without Wonger.
I know.
And I go, sorry, just trying to bring some Wonger into our lives.
We've had enough Wonger in us.
Safe travels.
What's that?
Thank you, Forrest.
Yeah, so you're leaving soon, right, Dubs? Yes, you're leaving soon, and we will see you. Are you going to be around for the podcast tomorrow? Tomorrow morning, or are you on?
We're Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah,
we're potting tomorrow. Yeah, I should be. I'll be around.
Yeah, okay. I'll set some. Okay, then we'll set up the weekend. Then others will see you on the weekend in person.
Yes, can't wait.
All right. Well, this has been Footy Prime. Congratulations, NSL. Congratulations, Dana Matheson and company. Finally, it's here. We can stop talking about what it might be and actually talk about what it is. And pretty soon we can start holding it accountable and start, criticizing the league and teams and players like a real sports league. That'll be fun. Can't wait for that one.
But that's important, right?
It is. Yeah.
100% it is. But the cool thing is like it's just the beginning. So it's like yesterday wasn't the crescendo. It was maybe like the mini apex, like everybody's pushing for it, you're waiting for it. The acme, the peak, right?
You get me? Crescendos and apex.
Yeah, but it could be like one build and then we're building.
It's not high.
No,
there's one goal for the spot.
It's almost like a reframing, or at least for me, that is all the build, all of the anticipation was for that match. And then, of course, it's for the season, but it's also year on year on year that product will continue to improve, to get better. And players who wanted to come but are tied up in other contracts will be able to come. Like the quality would just continue to rise, and we'll get, the depth of the league and of those rosters will also improve.
Well, it brings me to, we won't discuss this now, but a great quote by the great wise man himself, Xavi, who once said, there has to be something bigger than winning or losing, because sometimes in a football match, the result can be an imposter. There has to be a legacy. So last night's result was irrelevant. Stop rolling your eyes. It was irrelevant, the result. It was about what it represented for the big picture.
That's right.
So thank you, Xavi.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Beautiful. It is beautiful. It is good that.
He's just a bullshitter. It's like they have his crystal ball in front of him.
Don't you be calling Xavi a bullshitter?
Not on
no more authentic than Xavi. Anyway, maybe we'll talk about that some other time, that particular quote, because Dubs has got some strong opinions about it.
Say you're playing the long game. That's it.
All right, keep liking us or just like us for the first time if you don't already like us. Follow us, subscribe. It all really helps. We're back tomorrow. Cheers very much for listening. Bye-bye.